good to get back outside. We almost got through it without the lightning, so uh, but we had to we had to move the ball period, got everybody on the side, so we got a chance to work the helmet communication. That was one thing we wanted to get done. We'll do a little bit of that again tomorrow. Um, but we're kind of coming down to the last part of training camp before we get ready for a preseason game. So um, and we've got one more good practice tomorrow, and then we'll start turning our attention to Houston.
It seemed like another kind of intense workout to work out sense of the locker room. I mean,
Yeah, look, yeah, it was intense. You know, guys are getting after it. They're competing, which I like. Just like we said the other day, the line's got to be drawn somewhere, and you can't do it in a game, and so we're not going to do it out here. And when you do, there's consequences to it. So um, we did what we needed to do, and then we kept getting our work done.
Yeah, what are some of the next hurdles for Mike Thomas? It looks like he's handling everything really well. Is it just kind of taking on more snaps?
Yeah, I think that's all it is, really. I mean, I think you guys have been watching him. The snaps that he's gotten have been pretty good. Um, it looks like real football when he's out there playing, and so that's been good. And so now it's more about kind of increasing the volume as we go along. And Mike's been really good about every step of the process, and we'll keep going through it.
And so, with the way the last couple seasons have gone, quarterbacks missed at least a little bit of time every year for like the last 3 or 4 years. That make it a little bit more important to bring in somebody like Andy to be the number 2.
Yeah, well, that was again one of the big reasons why we brought Andy here. Is we wanted to bring a guy in that we felt like was an accomplished veteran player that's been a starter in our league, but also's been the backup in this league and had to come in a backup's role and have success. And so he was a guy that we identified, and luckily we were able to get him here. And I think he's been great for the quarterback room. He comes out here and competes every day. He had a really nice day today, and so I think he's been a good addition.
Has he got a grasp of the offense pretty quickly to fill out?
Yeah. Look, smart guy, veteran guy. And yeah, he's got a good feel for what we're doing offensively. And look, I'm sure as we continue to go through the process, I think he'll get even more comfortable.
Do you have any updates on Ramczyk and Warner? Is it injury related today?
No, Ramczyk's just been on a
that day.
He's been kind of a up and off type of deal in terms of management with him. And Warner's dealing with the groin again.
Yeah, just what kind of growth or progress have you seen from Bradley Roby from last year to this year, just having a full offseason?
Yeah, he's more confident in what we're asking him to do. You see a more confident player out there on the field. He's fully healthy. He's had a full season and an off season to understand what we're doing defensively. He knows the techniques that we're asking him to use. He knows what the terminology is, and so now he's able to just really go out there and play football. It's not as much about thinking and trying to process, what I do on this particular call. He's more out there just going along and playing the game and letting his athletic ability take over. So I like where he's at.
And so these preseason games kind of even like a helpful exercise for you, just like know the kind of process you want to be going through with like your staff. And
yeah, look, I think these preseason games are important. We all benefit in some form or fashion from every one of these games. And so yeah, for me as the head coach, going through that process with this staff, making sure that all the communication is exactly the way that we want it. Look, it goes even as far as to, making sure that the travel is done exactly the way we want it. And so everything gets evaluated. We make whatever tweaks we need to make and kind of go from there. So yeah, it's important.
I was going to be kind of one of the things I want to ask about, like how much input do you have in like as far as like going to Green Bay for a week afterwards and like the setup with the logistics for all that. Like,
Well, it all runs through me.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it all runs through me, and certainly, we communicate as a staff. I communicate with Mickey, and we kind of come up with these decisions together. But ultimately, how we prepare, whether it's for a week of practice versus Green Bay, or whether it's for a game in late December, that all really boils down to the head coach. That's my responsibility, and so that's the way it's been.
The preseason games, I think a lot of us think of Pierre Thomas, but can you think of, do other players stand out to you in terms of their preseason game tape being influential
Ooh.
in making the team?
God, you put me on the spot, man. I mean,
Sorry.
there's been so many guys that you just look at all these guys that have been, whether it be a late round draft choice or a free agent, that have made the team here. And it's really been not only because of what we've seen in practices, but yet you have to be able to go and show it under the lights in a game-like situation. And so, yeah, I can't think of names off the top of my head right now, but certainly there's been plenty of guys that have made their impression in the preseason.
How much, if I can follow up with that, how much do you weigh a guy maybe who's caught your eye in practice, but who really kind of maybe pops in the game versus what you've seen in practice? Do you have like weight?
Well, I think they both matter, but ultimately, you know, this game is about results and results in game situations, and so yeah, the games way more than the practices, but yet they're all important part of the evaluation.
With Warner, I don't know if you say, but whether he has been or might need to be checked for sports hernia.
Yeah, I don't think that's been something that we've discussed.